Hi, my name's Brian Martin here at Logis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripsilidopsis gartneri, or the Easter cactus. Now these are houseplants that have been grown for many years. They're notorious for their ability to survive under very harsh conditions, particularly in the way of dryness. And they're also known as the spring cactus because, like epiphyllums, which are closely related, they flower during the springtime, that being Easter or around that time. In terms of their culture, they are cactus, but they're epiphytic cactus, meaning they grow up in the trees in the tropical jungles, and therefore they like an open, drained mix and a period of dryness between waterings. Now, that dryness needs to be more accentuated during the wintertime, which would be the dry season in tropical forests, and that actually is part of the mechanism that helps them initiate flowers. So the reason why we see blooming in the springtime is because the plants have gone through this chill period. We grow them below 60 and above freezing. Any of those temperatures will work consistently at night, and the fact that we grow them a little drier. And there's also a decrease in day length that helps stimulate blooms as well. So they recognize the time of year, and as long as they've gone through that dry period and cool, the flowers will initiate on the tips of these, what we call pads, on their growth. Now, the older varieties were usually a red to fuchsia color, and there's been some hybridizing done on these where we now have many colors. We have right here whites and oranges, and there's some light pinks, there's some fuchsia colors, and these very dark reds, which are somewhat unusual from the original older varieties. In terms of light levels, they are somewhat understory plants, so they do very well in a sunlit window, but not direct hot sun, although they will grow under those conditions. It's better to give them some shade, and if you move them out in the summertime, it's better to put them in a place where they get partial sun, maybe morning or afternoon sun, and protect them from the harsh noonday sun. As far as pruning goes, when the plants get very large and you get too big for the space, once they're finished with their flowering cycle, you can trim them back. And you just simply come in and just cut these pads off to head them back and reduce the size. Now that's going to allow the growth of spring coming into summer to fill out, and that pad that's the last one to form in the summertime will be the one that will initiate the flowers off of it. So in terms of potting them, here's a root system. You can see how very fibrous it is. It's typical of epiphytic cactus, where the roots have a lot of little fine roots that come off of the main roots, and that actually helps them attach themselves to trees, but also is very good at scavenging water during periods when there is moisture. As you can see, they're growing right now, and they will grow year-round, even in the wintertime, as long as they're getting moisture. If you ever see them shrivel bad, it's the pads all shrivel up. It's either you haven't given them enough moisture or they've lost their root system, and that's the typical symptom of that. Good time to feed them is in the summertime during active growth. You can sprinkle a little granular organic on the top. That'll give you kind of a slow release fertilizer, or you can add some maybe monthly to your water in terms of a soluble fertilizer. But they do appreciate that and will perform much better if you do give them some fertilizer. The greatest problem with them in terms of their culture, other than the fact that if there are scale-infected plants nearby, because there's a cactus scale that can get on them, is really about root rot. And that is a matter of too much water or poor drainage in the container. We grow them here in plastic pots for production, but if you have clay pots, it's a good idea to put them in it. They can handle more water that way. And they're being epiphytes, they really do appreciate that much air around their root system. Thank you for watching today. There's a little bit of information on how to grow Ripsilidopsis or Easter cactus. For more information, go to logis.com.